Well, the first thing is their quarterback. He's a dynamic player. He got us last year on a bunch of quarterback draws and scrambles. We have to contain him. They got a really good back. They got quality wide receivers. So, but as you go back, I mean, the quarterback is the key to this thing.
How did Freer get to your attention in terms of coming from Princeton?
He just called one day and said, "Hey, I'm a lacrosse player. I'm in grad school. Can I come out and be on the football team?" And we're always looking for bodies, and we said, "Yeah." So he came down, looked around, and we took him. He's a good-looking dude, and he's doing a nice job for not playing football for a long time. He's doing a nice job, and great teammate, great person. So it was all on him. He got into school and just asked if he could be on the team.
Nick DeGennaro was not out every day.
He was out here. He's got a concussion. He's out.
How about Wickersham? Looked like he was.
Cam will start. We'll take Wickersham, see where we are.
How about Aziz Foster Powell? Anything new there?
We'll take him on the trip. We'll see how much he plays. I knew all those questions were coming, too.
Those are good answers.
I gave you all the facts.
That's all I need.
Now you can't get me on video saying, "Here's Coach Huseman with a 2-minute deal." It was like,
Brief.
Yeah, Cam's going to start.
Going on the road again this week, how do you feel like the guys have been at practice so far?
Good. I mean, we got a great group of guys. They work hard. It's important to them. They prepare. They spend extra time on their own. This will be the first trip that's going to be an extended bus ride. So, but we'll be all right with that.
Why will Cam start?
Because Kyle's not healthy enough right now.
Can you elaborate on what the issue is?
Ankle sprain. I mean, he was out here today, got some throws in, but not practicing Tuesday and Wednesday, makes a big difference. So we're going to go with Cam.
What have you seen from Delaware State? What do you expect from out of the Del Hornets?
Oh, they play hard. They are well coached, no question about that. Defensively they'll do enough changes, coverages, stunts, blitzes that keeps you off guard quite a bit. And like I said, offensively the quarterback is a huge threat.
They had that funky story at the beginning of the year with their plane and going to Hawaii. Are you worried about
I heard about that.
travel going up to Delaware?
Just the stinking traffic on 95. Mob's guy said 5 hours. I looked and said 3 hours and 25 minutes to Dover. He said, no, it's 5 hours. So we'll see. It'll be somewhere in between that.
With that mobile quarterback, how do you factor in Jeremiah Grant to try and contain him?
Well, it's not just him. Obviously, when it's dropped back and he gets the pressure, we got to really condense the pocket and drop back stuff. Quarterback draw is going to be huge. We got to have a linebacker around the line of scrimmage at all times. We got to try to cover, but also have a linebacker somewhere in the vicinity because there are going to be some run lanes. But we can't let him get in the wide open space because that's what he did last year. He hit and he had some wide open grass, and all of a sudden, it's hard to get him on the ground. He's very athletic.
Did you notice any sort of mood change with your team, like a weight lifted off their shoulder, or some pressure off them now that they finally got that first win and the success they had last Saturday?
I don't know about them, but for me, yeah. God dang, man. You'd have to ask those guys. For me, yes, no question.
So like one thing that I remember talking to you about at the UVA game, just some things that, kind of caught us in a lapse during that game, some things that we knew that we had to work on. And, over these last 2 weeks since then, we've been constantly making that a main focus in practice and just making sure that we're doing it in practice because obviously, it translates to games.
What are those things?
So like things like running to the ball, being able to go up and attack balls, make plays, create takeovers, things of that nature. Thank you.
Take us through the pick six in your eyes.
So, it's actually funny because we weren't even initially going to be in the coverage that we ended up in. But, I checked the sideline and I got the new call. So as soon as I looked back, the ball was snapped. I came down into, the leverage that I needed to be on the guy that was going out on the route. And then I got my eyes back to the quarterback. I seen him scrambling, running for his life because the D-line and them were getting after him. And as soon as I seen the ball in there, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm taking this to the crib. So that's pretty much the the whole thought process behind that one.
Do you remember anything that's running through your mind as you're running to hit the end zone and start that dive?
I was actually in my head. I was thinking about how Wayne Galloway had taken the interception to the house last year, and he did a front flip. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't do a front flip. I don't want Coach Huseman to yell at me when I get on the sideline. So I just took the safer route and just did a normal dive.
A little more seriousness. How do you feel your secondary is playing now? What's the improvement you've seen through 3 weeks?
I'm very pleased. Obviously not complacent at all. We want to continue to keep getting better. But these guys have taken a step in the right direction. And, you know, obviously with me being the leader in the room, one of the older guys, you know, again, that's an emphasis that we make in practice. So, you know, you making those plays in practice, once the game comes around, it's nothing at all. You just go out there and you do what you've been doing all week.
What are you seeing from the younger guys, particularly C.J. Frazier and Matthew Traynor, who are getting plenty of snaps now?
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how the trajectory those guys are going in. Matt's been working unbelievably hard. Obviously, you know, Matt's in the room with me at safety, but he's taken a huge step from his freshman year to this year, and he's definitely going to be a big player here in this conference for a long time to come. And then C.J., he's been bringing it along too. You know, he has taken some big steps in the spring this year, and, you know, coming around fall camp, you know, very competitive in that cornerback room. You know, he's earned the right to be able to get some snaps, and he's gone out there and he's competed at the high level. So very proud of those two guys.
After you guys finally, you know, got that sizable lead, you guys, you know, kind of celebrating more. Feel like, was there a pressure lifted off you guys that you could play a little more free now that you finally get that first win?
I mean, in essence, but, you know, again, like I was saying earlier, you know, we can't get complacent at all. And that was one of the things that we're continuing to preach to each other. You know, we're up 21-0 after I scored that touchdown. We're still on the sideline preaching like all gas, no brakes. You know, we want to continue to keep our foot on the neck and keep on playing the Richmond defense that we know we can play. So there's no let up at all.
As you look at Delaware State, how do you contain this more mobile quarterback and fight with the receivers?
That's you like taking the right angles to the ball. You know, obviously he's a very athletic guy. He can get out the pocket and move. You know, as long as, you know, we're plastering on receivers when he is getting out the pocket, looking down the field, and we're able to contain him and have the proper angles running to the ball when he is getting out the pocket and crossing the line of scrimmage, then it should be a very good game.
From facing them last year, do you notice any differences this year when you observe the film?
Yeah, they're definitely better coached this year. I think they have a really good coaching system behind them, and they look like they just want to go compete. You know, obviously it was a big game that we had on them. We scored a lot of points on them, so, you know, they're not going to come out and just lay down for us. You know, it's going to be a very competitive game, so we have to attack it as so.
We just came out and played our type of football. I mean, I feel like last week our preparation didn't meet our execution and we fell short against Wofford, but this past weekend against Charleston Southern, we came out and we played our game of football.
Do you see when you look at Delaware State?
They're a well-coached football team. They're physical, and they're a pretty good team. So I feel like we need to come out with the same mentality, and we're 0-0 to start the week, and we need to come out and play fast and physical and play our type of football.
Did you have a different approach last week when you knew it was just you and King back there, and that the running back, you know, room was pretty thin?
Yes.
No, I didn't have a different approach. I mean, I practice how I play. I mean, I give 100% effort every single rep, and so does Andrew King. And I feel like both of us, we knew that we were short, so we knew it was going to be up to us to finish the job.
How do you think he's progressing? You're a veteran guy. He's a young guy.
He's progressing well. I'm teaching him a lot of things, and he's a great kid. So
what's kind of the most important thing that you would have to teach him in terms of college football in general, or just the specifics of preparing week in and week out?
I'd say for sure for him, I'd say just like it's a different type of speed going from high school to college level. It's a lot faster, but then also you have to be more patient when you're getting the ball. So I just try to give him tips on how to do that, as well as like pass blocking and catching the ball at the backfield as well.
You scored your share of touchdowns before, but these were your first two in a Spider uniform. What did that kind of feel like and mean to you to get not one but two touchdowns?
It was a great feeling, and I'm excited to get more.
What was that conversation like with Coach Huseman to know that you were going to be taking a bulk of the reps last week?
I mean, we didn't really have a conversation about it. It was more so like getting practice reps, and basically like when you practice, it means your level of execution during the game. So I had a feeling that I was going to get the ball a lot because we were practicing a lot. So
for this being the last non-conference game on your schedule, what are some goals that you have in order to fine-tune everything before CAA play?
Personally, I don't really look at conference games versus non-conference games. I play everybody the same, so we're ready for a challenge week in and week out.
Any coach had mentioned that the Cam will start Saturday, so that's out there. Any difference, any chemistry that you got to kind of build with him a little bit more? I know you've been practicing with both of them all summer.
I mean, yeah, I came in with all these guys, so I feel like the chemistry is already built with all three quarterbacks, with Kyle, Cam, and Ashton. So I feel like it's the same thing, and we just got to come out and play ball.